Did you think flip phones were dead? I hope not, because the Freetel Musashi is quite the interesting device. What makes the Freetel Musashi really special is it has two screens, both 4 inches, 800 by 480 resolution. They can be fairly bright, which is good, but they're not the highest resolution. And then you get the physical keys, which I don't know, but I miss sometimes. But after using it, I was totally like it. There's another learning curve, I guess. You have to do that learning curve again, especially typing full-on words takes a while to get used to. The Freetel Musashi weighs about 198 grams, and to put this into perspective, the regular iPhone 7 is 138 grams, so it's a little bit on the heavy side, considering it has the both top and bottom. I wish it was a little bit lighter, a little bit thinner too. It comes with an earphone jack adapter, but unfortunately you can't charge it and use the headphone jack adapter at the same time, so you can't listen to music and charge your phone at the same time. It has a micro USB charger. It's not the fastest charger, even though the battery's kind of small, but it'll get the job done. Speaking of the battery, it has a 2000 milliamp battery, removable battery, so you can swap it. If you have an extra battery, you can swap it if you want to. I noticed when I was using heavy apps, it would drain fairly quickly, and I don't think the device is really meant for that much heavy use actually. The Freetel Musashi is running Android 5.1 pretty decently, but there is some slowdown, especially in the heavier apps. As you can see in my startup test here, I'm waiting for it to power on and load all the apps and get to the home screen, but it is taking a really long time. And just looking at the footage, it takes roughly about 30 full seconds to get everything powered up. I think that's a little bit too long, even for a phone like this. Here I'm using the 8 megapixel backside camera. It's decent, you don't need anything too crazy on a flip phone. It's decent, but it's not groundbreaking whatsoever. And it has a 2 megapixel selfie camera if you're into that, but 2 megapixel, I don't think that's going to do anything for your Instagram. While I do this speed test like on YouTube, let me talk about the connection, the 4G connection that on AT&T. I couldn't get 4G on AT&T. I know it's kind of an international type phone. Freetel did say somewhere maybe like a year ago that they would release a US version, but I have yet to see one. I was only able to get 2G Edge on AT&T. I've seen comments saying that they were able to get 4G maybe on Cricket or at least 3G, but I wasn't able to get anything above 2G, unfortunately. And as you can see, like swiping on YouTube, it had a little bit of delay, which is not optimal. One of my gripes about the physical keys is they don't really feel that tactile enough. I mean, they're kind of squishy when you press them. They're not very clicky, and when you're trying to move your fingers around, you don't really feel the difference between each button. The phone is a little bit thick, like I said before, and here comparing to my LG G5, it's pretty much like two phones stacked on each other when it's folded up. But it is more compact width-wise and height-wise, but it is still a little too thick to put comfortably maybe in your pants pocket compared to the LG G5, definitely. Overall, the Freetel Musashi is an interesting concept. I love the feeling of opening the phone to answer calls and closing it to hang it up. It just has that old school feel a little bit. I do wish sometimes it was a little bit faster, but I don't think it's really aimed at the person that uses it very frequently or on heavy apps. I think it's more aimed at maybe older people that still haven't gotten used to the touch bar smartphones. So I think if they could have a market for this for the masses, then it would be I think it could be an interesting concept. If a US version was made, I would consider getting one. I hope companies don't give up on this concept. I feel like if they make it a little lighter, a little thinner, make something of the dual screens, maybe even have a touch thing on the keyboard just like BlackBerry did on their BlackBerry Priv, that would be really cool, I think. So should you get the Freetel Musashi? Right now, I don't know, but be open to the concept of a flip phone. I feel like it could be something more.